black screen. 3 missed calls from Mom. No doubt, they're about Jasmine's latest achievement. You know how some families have a golden child? Well, my sister Jasmine might as well wear a crown. Hannah, why can't you be more like your sister? She just closed another client meeting. Mom's voice echoed in my head from last week's dinner. Yeah, the same client meeting I set up. But sure, whatever. Maybe because I'm busy actually doing the work while Jasmine takes all the credit, I had muttered under my breath that night. Ever since Dad passed away 5 years ago, it's like I became invisible. I graduated top of my class in business administration at NYU. Jasmine, she barely scraped through community college. Guess who got the BMW as a graduation gift? Spoiler, not me. Sweetheart, Jasmine needs to maintain a certain image for her social circle. Mom had said when I questioned the car situation. You understand, right? You're the practical one. The practical one. That's code for, we don't need to impress anyone with you. But the final straw came last month during our so-called family bonding trip to Crystal Bay Resort. We need to stick together as a family, Mom had said when she insisted we go. Sure, family bonding. Except when we checked in, there was an issue with the booking. They only have one suite available, Mom had announced, clutching her designer purse a little too tight. I watched as Jasmine wheeled her Louis Vuitton suitcase toward the elevator. Don't worry, Hannah, she smirked. The car park has great views of the ocean. You can't be serious, I said to Mom. I'm supposed to sleep in my car. Hannah, don't be difficult, she replied, exasperated. You know we're on a budget since your father passed. Jasmine needs her rest for the charity brunch tomorrow. She's networking with potential investors. Budget. Right. Mom had been wearing a brand new pair of Louboutins that cost $945. I'd seen the receipt on her desk. That night, curled up in my Honda Civic with a travel pillow, I made a decision. I wasn't going to be the family doormat anymore. I opened my laptop and started working on the business plan I'd been putting off. A tech startup focused on financial security systems. Something Dad would have been proud of. The next morning, Jasmine strutted through the hotel lobby in a designer sundress. Oh my God, Hannah, you look awful. Is that what you're wearing to brunch? Actually, I have work to do, I replied, clutching my laptop. Always the boring one, Mom sighed. This is why you'll never get anywhere in life. No connections, no social skills. If only they knew. I've been coding since college, quietly developing a security system prototype while working at the family business. They think I'm just the quiet one who handles paperwork. Perfect, let them think that. I glanced at my phone again. A 4th missed call from Mom. Probably about the New Year's gala, where Jasmine will once again be paraded around like a prize pony. But I'm done. While they're busy maintaining their perfect image, I'm building something real. Dad always said, success is the best revenge. He also taught me to watch, wait, and know when to strike. Well, Dad, I've been watching for 5 years. Every manipulative move, every stolen credit, every backhanded compliment. I've seen it all. And I've got plans of my own. They think I'm just the quiet one. Fine. They have no idea I'm about to drive right over their perfect little world. Sometimes the quiet ones surprise you the most, and trust me, my surprise is going to be worth every night I spent pretending to be the family failure. Weeks later, I stayed late at the office, the quiet helping me focus on the quarterly reports. That's when something caught my eye. A transfer pattern that didn't match our usual operations. Still here? Don't you have anything better to do? Jasmine's voice startled me. She leaned against my cubicle, her designer bag in hand, ready for another evening out. Just finishing up the Henderson account, I said, keeping my tone neutral. Oh, I already told the board I completed that, she said with a breezy smile. You can go home now. My blood boiled. You what? I've been working on that for weeks. Please, she scoffed, flipping her hair over her shoulder. Like they believe you did it. Anyway, everyone knows you're barely keeping it together, Jasmine sneered. Remember that time you supposedly lost the Wilson contract? I did remember. The contract I had painstakingly secured, only for it to mysteriously vanish from my desk, then reappear in Jasmine's files a week later with her name on it. Later that night, after Jasmine left, I stayed behind, determined to dig deeper into the company's financial records. My instincts weren't wrong. A series of small transfers caught my attention. Tiny amounts, consistent, and all routed to an account in the Cayman Islands. Small enough to fly under the radar, but together, they added up to something significant. "What are you doing here so late?" The voice of Carl, our night security guard, made me jump. "Just catching up on some work," I replied quickly, closing my laptop. "Oh, by the way, your mom left some files for tomorrow's morning meeting. Want me to bring them over?" I nodded, trying to hide my nerves. When Carl handed me the files, I skimmed through them out of curiosity, and my stomach turned. They revealed everything. Mom's signature authorizing consulting fees to shell companies. Jasmine's expense reports claiming business trips that never happened. 5 years of systematic theft from Dad's legacy, neatly papered over. The next morning, Jasmine sashayed into the office, latte in hand, late as usual. "Emergency board meeting in an hour," she said, her tone dripping with condescension. "Try not to embarrass yourself this time." I nodded absently, but my mind was racing. During the meeting, I watched them perform their usual routine. "The Hong Kong expansion is proceeding exactly as planned," Jasmine announced, practically glowing as she delivered my research verbatim. "Excellent work, Jasmine," Mom beamed. "Hannah, please try to stay awake during these important discussions." I kept my head down, pretending to doodle, but secretly recording every word on my phone. Then Mom dropped the bombshell. "The board has expressed concerns about certain irregularities in the expense accounts," she said, her voice calm but calculated. My head snapped up. "It seems someone has been making unauthorized purchases. Hannah, care to explain these charges?" She slid a paper across the table. I scanned it, my heart sinking. The charges were fabricated but meticulously crafted to look like my doing. These aren't mine," I protested, my voice wavering. "The evidence suggests otherwise," Mom replied smoothly, her expression unreadable. "Really, sis? A shopping spree on the company dime," Jasmine said with a smirk. "Dad would be so disappointed." That night, I didn't go home. Instead, I stayed in the office, creating a secure folder on my private server. Every falsified document, every suspicious transfer, every fake expense report, they were all carefully cataloged and time-stamped. 5 years of their schemes, laid bare in ones and zeros. My phone buzzed. A text from Jasmine. "Board's considering suspension pending investigation. Shouldn't have tried to play in the big leagues, little sis." I smiled at the screen, thinking about the offshore account records I'd uncovered. Jasmine and Mom thought they were untouchable. They had no idea I'd learned everything Dad taught me about following money trails before he died. Another text arrived, this time from Mom. "Family dinner tomorrow. We need to discuss your future with the company." Perfect. Let them think they're winning. They had no idea I copied every document they thought they destroyed, every email they thought they deleted, and every transaction they thought they hid. Weeks later, I sat in a sleek conference room, far from my family's company. Across the table, Mr. Thompson, the CEO of a major tech firm, smiled at me. "We're thrilled to invest $10 million in your security software, Miss Carter. Your algorithm for detecting financial fraud is revolutionary." I smiled, thinking of my unwitting beta testers. I'd gained some unique insights into how fraud schemes operate. Back at the family office, I maintained my facade of mediocrity while secretly finalizing my resignation letter. "Did you finish those reports?" Jasmine barged into my cubicle, dropping a stack of files onto my desk. "Almost done. How's the Robertson account?" "Of that?" She flipped her hair. "Closed it yesterday. Mom's throwing a dinner to celebrate my promotion to COO tonight. Try to dress appropriately for once." That evening at La Blinc, our family's favorite restaurant, I sat through the predictable show. "A toast to our new chief operating officer," Mom announced, raising her champagne glass. "Jasmine, darling, your father would have been so proud." "Thanks, Mommy." Jasmine's voice dripped with smugness. "I just wish certain people could understand what real success looks like." Her eyes slid to me. "The Robertson account was quite impressive," I said quietly, taking a sip of water. "See, even Hannah can recognize excellence when she sees it," Jasmine said, basking in the praise. "Especially the part where you used my proposal word for word. Even kept the typo I deliberately left on page 4. The silence lasted exactly 3 seconds. "Don't be ridiculous," Mom snapped. "Jasmine worked hours on that presentation." "Really? When?" between her spa appointment Tuesday and her 3-hour lunch Wednesday. You're just jealous, Jasmine hissed. You always have been. Face it, you'll never be anything more than a glorified secretary. I reached into my bag and pulled out an envelope. Actually, this is my resignation. The laughter started immediately. Resignation. Jasmine scoffed. To do what? Mom's voice dripped with mock concern. Where will you go, Hannah? Who would even hire you? I stood dropping cash on the table for my untouched meal. Thank you both for making everything so clear over the years. Congratulations on the promotion, Jasmine. I'm sure you'll do exactly what you deserve. As I turned to leave, Mom's voice followed me. Running away again. Typical Hannah. Always a disappointment. In my car, I checked my phone. Another email from my investors. Contract ready for signing. Office space secured. At home, I added tonight's dinner conversation to my evidence file. Let them laugh. Let them think I was slinking away in defeat. Everything was proceeding exactly as planned. My phone buzzed again with a text from Jasmine. Pathetic attention grab. Come back when you grow up. And another from Mom. Your father would be ashamed. I looked at the photo on my desk. Dad and me at my college graduation. Don't worry, Dad, I said softly. I've learned exactly how they operate, and soon everyone else will too. The next morning, I moved into my new office. My team was already hired, my software patent pending, and my first major client was ready to sign. Later that week, a headline splashed across my tablet screen as I sipped coffee in my corner office. Breaking news. Carter Industries executives charged with embezzlement. Mother-daughter duo accused of stealing millions. My anonymous tip had spiraled into a full federal investigation. The evidence I gathered over years proved invaluable to forensic accountants. Miss Carter, your mother and sister are in the lobby. My assistant's voice crackled through the intercom. Security knows what to do, I replied without looking up. My phone buzzed nonstop. Please, we need to talk. They're freezing our assets. Jasmine, your sister made mistakes, but we're family. Just 5 minutes. Mom. I forwarded the messages to my lawyer without responding. Let them feel what it's like to be ignored. The society pages were particularly entertaining. Prominent socialite Deanna Carter and daughter Jasmine removed from charity board. Carter family scandal rocks business community. Former CEO Jasmine Carter seen leaving court after assets frozen. You've ruined us. Jasmine's voice cracked over the phone when she managed to get through on an unknown number. We're nothing now. Are you happy? Actually, I am. Karma's funny that way. We're your family, she pleaded. Family doesn't make their daughter sleep in a car, I said. Family doesn't steal credit for her work. Family doesn't frame someone for their own crimes. We've changed, she whispered. We need you. No, you need my money. There's a difference. I hung up and blocked the number. Through my office window, I watched the sunset paint the city's skyline gold. On my desk sat a framed news article. Rising tech CEO Hannah Carter's security system revolutionizes fraud detection. My phone buzzed one last time, a text from Carl, the old night security guard. Saw the news. Your dad would be proud. I smiled. What would you do if your own family had systematically destroyed your life while stealing millions? Would you expose them immediately, or would you do what I did? Gather evidence while building your success in secret?